$280,000 question. Is the Mercedes Maybach S680 SUV worth it, or are you just paying for a badge? There's a number that stops most people mid-sentence when they hear it. $60,000. That's not the price of this SUV. That's how much more it costs than the Mercedes GLS 580 it's built on. Same platform, same basic architecture, same Alabama factory. And yet the moment Mercedes puts a Maybach badge on it, the price jumps by $60,000. Critics have been making that argument for years. And every single year, buyers ignore them completely because Maybach US sales just grew 30%. So the real question isn't whether people are buying it. The question is whether they should. Welcome to MotorDreamer, where we go past the badge and into the details that actually justify or expose the price. Today we're breaking down the 2026 Mercedes Maybach S680 SUV, the most polarizing ultra-luxury SUV on the market, and the one where the honest answer is more complicated than either side wants to admit. Before we talk about what's inside, let's address something that matters more than most reviews acknowledge. The Maybach S680 SUV does not exist as a separate vehicle. It is a Mercedes-Benz GLS that has been extensively reworked, retrimmed, and repositioned at a price point that puts it in direct competition with Rolls-Royce and Bentley. Mercedes stretches the wheelbase by more than 7 inches over the standard GLS to maximize rear legroom. The third row is removed entirely, not to save weight, but to create a rear lounge with airline-style reclining seats separated by a full-length console with folding tables, climate controls, and storage. The entire interior is retrimmed with materials and finishes that don't exist anywhere else in the GLS lineup. And critically, there is only one trim level, the S680. Maybach doesn't offer a base model because the concept of a base Maybach is something the brand considers a contradiction in terms. You either buy the full expression of what this vehicle is, or you buy something else. That philosophy is either admirable or absurd depending on your perspective. But it does mean that every S680 you see starts at approximately $255,000 and can reach $280,000 fully loaded with MANUFACTUR personalization options. The exterior design is where the Maybach separates itself most visibly from the GLS it's based on. The signature Maybach grille, wider, more upright, and finished with vertical chrome bars rather than the GLS's horizontal treatment, is the first thing that identifies it from a distance. Exclusive 23-inch forged wheels in a champagne flute design fill the arches completely, with the option of Night Series finish in obsidian black for buyers who want presence without chrome. MANUFACTUR two-tone paint options, including Patagonia red over obsidian or emerald green metallic, are unavailable on any other Mercedes model. Animated Maybach logo projectors illuminate the ground when the doors open. None of this is accidental. Every visual detail has been chosen to make one thing immediately clear to anyone watching this vehicle arrive. This is not a GLS, and at this price, it had better not be. Step inside, and the argument for the $60,000 premium becomes significantly easier to make. The 56-inch MBUX Hyperscreen stretches across the entire dashboard in a single piece of curved OLED glass. Not 3 screens placed next to each other, but one unified display surface that runs from the driver's instrument cluster through the central infotainment screen to a dedicated passenger display. The difference between OLED and the LCD screens found in lesser vehicles is immediately apparent: deeper blacks, richer color, and a clarity that makes everything else look slightly outdated. 64-color ambient lighting fills the cabin in sequences you can customize to match your mood or your journey. The seats are finished in diamond-quilted Napa leather, available in porcelain or mahogany. Rear passengers get individual airline-style recliners with heating, cooling, and massage, controlled by voice through the MBUX system. "Hey Mercedes, need my lower back" is not a joke feature. It works. A refrigerated compartment with champagne flutes, folding rear tables, wireless charging, and a Burmester 3D surround sound system complete the rear lounge experience. Optional starlight headliner, fragrance diffusion, and electrochromic privacy glass turn every journey into something closer to a private aircraft cabin than a car ride. This is where the Maybach makes its strongest case, and where most people who experience it stop arguing about whether the premium is justified. Under the hood sits one of the last handcrafted V12 engines in production. The 6-liter twin-turbocharged V12 produces 621 horsepower and 664 lb-ft of torque, numbers that would be impressive in a sports car, and are extraordinary in a vehicle of this size and weight. 0 to 60 takes 4.7 seconds. Braking from 60 mph requires just 102 feet, one of the best stopping distances recorded from any SUV Edmunds has tested, and comparable to serious performance cars. The 9-speed automatic transmission shifts with a smoothness that makes the power delivery feel effortless rather than dramatic, because drama is not what Maybach buyers are paying for. The e-active body control suspension is what truly separates this vehicle's ride quality from everything else at this price. Using a camera mounted at the front of the vehicle, the system scans the road surface ahead and adjusts the suspension proactively, before the wheel reaches a bump, not after. The result is a ride quality that reviewers consistently describe using the same word: gliding. Not smooth, gliding. As if the road imperfections that exist for every other vehicle simply don't apply here. But here is where the honest conversation has to happen, because the Maybach S680 SUV has real weaknesses that its price tag makes impossible to ignore. The first is depreciation. Luxury SUVs at this price point lose value fast. Independent analysis shows Maybach GLS models can depreciate by up to 40% in the first 3 years. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan, which starts at $345,000, holds its value significantly better, with stronger residuals driven by tighter production volumes and stronger brand exclusivity perception. If you buy a Cullinan for $345,000 and sell it in 3 years, the math is often more favorable than buying a Maybach at $255,000 and selling it at the same point. That is a remarkable statement. The second weakness is practical. Despite costing $60,000 more than the GLS 580, the Maybach GLS has less cargo space, because the third row was removed to create the rear lounge. And the full rear seat recline, which is one of the headline features of the vehicle, is only fully functional for passengers up to 5 feet 9 inches tall. In a $280,000 SUV, that limitation will surprise some buyers more than it should. These are not deal breakers for the target buyer, but they are details worth knowing before you sign. On price, the positioning is genuinely interesting. At $255,000 to $280,000, the Maybach S680 SUV sits above the Range Rover SV at $200,000 and directly alongside the Bentley Bentayga at $230,000, while undercutting the Rolls-Royce Cullinan by $65,000 to $90,000. That gap has been Maybach's strategic positioning for years: more accessible than Rolls-Royce, more exclusive than Range Rover, directly competitive with Bentley. The question buyers have to answer is whether the Maybach's interior execution, V12 powertrain, and brand identity are worth choosing over a Bentayga that holds its value better, or a Cullinan that carries stronger long-term prestige. There is no objectively correct answer. It depends entirely on whether you're buying this vehicle as a daily expression of how you travel, or as an asset you expect to hold value over time. For the former, the Maybach makes a compelling case. For the latter, the numbers currently favor its competitors. So here is where the 2026 Mercedes Maybach S680 SUV actually stands. The 40% depreciation argument and the $60,000 badge premium argument are both real, and they don't change the fact that this vehicle delivers an experience that very few things on 4 wheels can match. The V12 is extraordinary. The ride quality is genuinely unlike anything in the segment. The interior ambition is matched by the execution. And the presence it commands, visually, acoustically, experientially, is not something you can fully understand from a spec sheet. What you're paying for is not just materials and horsepower. You're paying for the way this vehicle makes every journey feel like an occasion rather than a commute. Whether that experience is worth $255,000 is a question only you can answer. But the people buying it, and Maybach sales growing 30% in the US, says there are more of them than ever, seem to have made their decision. And from everything the 2026 S680 SUV delivers, it's hard to argue they're wrong. Would you choose the Maybach S680 SUV over the Bentley Bentayga or Rolls-Royce Cullinan at this price? Or does the depreciation story change the calculation for you? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to MotorDreamer and we'll see you in the next one.